Internationally, Nissan has an ace in its hand through one of the most successful tie-ins in the gaming world. The GTR has been a staple of the Gran Turismo games on the PlayStation platform for years. But the new version of the game is going to have the new GTR as its icon.
A lot of exciting work going on with Sony PlayStation. Gran Turismo 5, we've decided that's the premium video game, and so that will be the first place where the GTR appears.
And at the very moment the new car is presented at the Tokyo Motor Show, the virtual gaming version will be released online. Over at Polyphony, where the Gran Turismo game is made, the programmers are hard at work. One of their key selling points is that previous versions of the game have sold over 40 million copies. They're counting on the new GTR having the same effect. Under conditions of strict secrecy, Nissan has sent them 3D design models and engineering documents, and photographs of the prototype. Thousands and thousands of photographs. Gran Turismo is all about the realism. Designers are dedicated to producing a virtual GTR that is as true to life as it's possible for a console driving car to be.
We've always aimed to make our games as accurate as possible to the real cars. But this one stands out. It shows how our relationship with Nissan is very close.
For most GTR fans, the Gran Turismo video game is the closest contact they'll ever have with the car. So the game makers will be working around the clock to meet the exacting demands of the fans, not to mention their own. Springtime in Germany, a time of renewal and rebirth, a time of optimism and peace, which is about to be shattered by the GTR. Nürburgring is home to what enthusiasts reckon is one of the hardest racetracks in the world. It's become a kind of default racing benchmark. An earlier generation of GTRs set a fastest lap time for a production car here 10 years ago. But today's not about lap times and speed. Today's about making an impression on foreign turf. The Porsche's home territory, the epicenter of Teutonic automotive perfection. And it's well known that in Germany, they like things to be clean. And here they are, the pickiest members of the public. The seen it all before, the motoring journalists. It's still quite early in the car's development. There's 6 months to go until the car is officially launched. It's unusual to show a car that's not quite finished yet. But this is all part of the campaign to build excitement for the new GTR. And maybe face up to some tough criticism from the hard men of motoring. Before they're even allowed anywhere near the car itself, it's lecture time with Kazutoshi Mizuno. Images have leaked into the public domain. Now he reveals to them for the first time what the new GTR is all about. He tells them about the engine, the body, build materials,
carbon injection material. This is the first service of ours.
brakes,
So it's very important, high performance.
computer controls.
And this screen from eyes, same eye.
90 minutes later, the journalists know more than they ever thought they wanted to know about the new GTR. Not that it does them much good. The news is embargoed until the car is launched 6 months down the road. Finally, the journalists are allowed into the garage to meet the GTR face to face. They don't seem to be very impressed. But Nissan Executive Vice President Carlos Tavares is very positive about this exercise.
I don't think it's really a risk. I think it's just a way to share passion for cars with passionate people, because I believe those experts, despite the fact that they drive a lot of different cars, are also passionate people.
This kind of event is very unusual because they've allowed us to see the car at a relatively early stage in the development. So, you know, although we've known that the car's been coming for a long time and seen teaser pictures of concepts and stuff, it's quite a privilege, I think, to be here and have so much access to the car in different conditions and all the engineers here. It's a real buzz.
But the proof is not in the engineering, and it's not in the looks. It's in the drive. And these guys who have been behind the wheel of pretty much every car on the market are going to get to take the new toy out for a drive. First, they can go for a spin on the public roads. And to encourage them to compare it to the arch-rival Porsche, a 911 has been provided for them to take out too.
The 911 is a benchmark for everybody. The 911 Turbo, frankly, I was surprised that the GTR was able to run with it going as quickly as it did.
And the reaction is everything the Japanese have hoped for.
It's going to be pretty fast. That became apparent when we did a little back-to-back running this afternoon to terrorizing the countryside. Boy, it's hard to pick between them.
The run through the countryside tests the car's handling abilities. Next up, a high-speed run, courtesy of a section of Germany's famous highway system, the Autobahn, where there is no speed limit.
Once you hit speeds of, I think I hit 175 today, I mean, I could feel the downforce really working. It's really, really composed, and I could almost take my hands off it, like 130, 140, 140 miles an hour. I mean, it felt that safe. It tracked really well.
But the real supercar test happens on the track. So out the journalists all go again to take a lap around the Nürburgring. One of the most critical eyes cast over the GTR belongs to international journalist Georg Kacher, who has already admitted he's come here expecting to be profoundly underwhelmed.
Okay.
Georg isn't one to spare the car either.
Typically, all-wheel drive cars are boring because of the torque split. They're very safe. And very safe means understeer, roll.
Almost despite himself, Georg begins to be impressed by the car.
This one is a car that's both safe and quick. It's really a vehicle like a Porsche or like a Ferrari, which has racing genes in it.
And the conclusion?
There's only a couple of things. I mean, it's very heavy. I am too, so I halfway pardon it for that. But being heavy, it's heavy on everything. It's heavy on the brakes, it's heavy on the tires, it's heavy on the chassis. So it's not as nimble. It's not as chuckable, quite as chuckable. But apart from that, it's wonderful.
Worst thing about this, helmet hair.
Goes. I kind of go, wow, this reminds me of me playing my PlayStation 2 with the Gran Turismo 4. It was almost eerie. I go, wow, this is eerie. The sounds, the way the car accelerates, the way you kind of going into a corner. I mean, it was eerily reminiscent of the Gran Turismo game in PlayStation.
Words that would really please the creators of Gran Turismo.